movies. I made a list. This is the original list. Okay, so I had more than 10 we had to pick. So we're going to be going through that. Before I get started, the lip I'm wearing is from Burberry. It's Military Red, #1. Military Red, I think. Also, I burnt my thumb this morning trying to do Hailey Bieber's hair tutorial. I don't know if it worked. I'm serving 80s ski trip, hot tub time machine maybe. I don't know. The fantasy is real. Anyways, I tried to do her hair tutorial, and I feel like I need to retry and get the hang of it, but I wasn't gonna like redo my hair after I put it through so much heat. So, no mean comments about my hair. Okay, and I burnt my thumb for this, but I'm serving holiday glam, so yeah. Let's just get started. We're gonna start with number 10. Now, number 10 was actually the toughest spot for me to pick. Surprisingly, the first couple, super easy, and then it got tougher. But in the number 10 spot, we have the Polar Express. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think the Polar Express won 10th spot because I felt like I needed more animated films on my top 10 list. I'm a rom-com gal. I'm a murder mystery gal. But something about the Polar Express creates a lot of serotonin in my brain. It's adorable. Tom Hanks is amazing. I love it. The animation is so cute. It's just a really overall cute movie. And I watch it a lot with my mom. She really likes it. So it's sentimental as well. So number 10 was the hardest spot. We had some honorable mentions, which I'll get to in the end. But I think my favorite movie in 10th spot for Christmas is The Polar Express. That's all I gotta say. In 9th spot, in the number 9 spot, we have Elf. Will Ferrell. You either think he's funny or you're confused. I think he's funny. Elf is a classic. It's just I don't really know how much more to explain Elf. It also creates serotonin in my brain for free. I don't have to take it. I'm the kind of person that I really like movies that make me feel safe. I usually watch movies when I'm feeling anxious, that kind of thing, so I'll rewatch the same ones sometimes. Sometimes I want something new, but like if I'm feeling anxious, I need something else, and Elf is one of those movies I watch every year, especially just to like feel happy, and it's so silly. I love it. And Zoe Deschanel, okay, she's adorable. I love her attitude in that movie. I loved the way that like she used to play these like women like characters. I loved that about her. So number 9 is Elf. 9 and 10 were tough spots, okay. 8 and up was a lot easier. That's all I'm saying. So in 8th place we have Love the Coopers. You're gonna get this vibe a lot in the next couple. Okay, so I remember when this movie came out, my twin sister and I went to the movie, like the theater, and watched it together, and it was one of those movies where I just sat there and like time didn't, like I wasn't waiting for it to be over. It was just like, it started and then it was over, and I was just like, the whole time. First of all, it's really sad, but I come from a mixed blended family, so the holidays are sort of hectic, and like people are like fighting, you know, like not really, like no one's like beating each other up, but like there's tension sometimes, you know. So I just kind of really relate to this movie, and it's also super cute. Also, I live, breathe, die, resurrect for Diane Keaton. I love Diane Keaton. I really like Ed Helms. I love him. I'm a huge Office fan. also Timothée Chalamet, or should I say Timothée, because it's his actual name, Timothée Chalamet. I love how awkward he is. Like, I just love some teenage awkwardness as well. So that's why Love the Coopers is in number 8 spot. Number 7, we have The Holiday. I couldn't quite figure out where to put this on the list because, first of all, it's just a masterpiece of a film. Jude Law. It's just so good. And I couldn't quite figure out where to put it. I feel like I should be explaining more about what happens in these movies, but I don't want to give them away too much. But I'm sure everyone kind of knows what The Holiday is about. I just love it. I love love. I love watching other people fall in love, me falling in love. It's never good, but I love love. I love watching movies about love because I don't love, you know what I mean? Anyways, The Holiday, the reason it's a little farther down on the list is because it's so bloody long. It's 2 hours long, but it's super good. I watch it about every year. I've already watched it this year. I watched it in November. Yeah, it's super good. It's also really heartwarming to me. I'm trying not to give any of the plot away in case you haven't seen these and you'd like to go see them for the first time. I also think it was slightly ahead of its time with the technology. I just imagine it would be a little bit different if it was a couple years later in the future. But I also think that about Gossip Girl, and then finally they came out with it again, but I haven't actually watched it. Anyways, we're not talking about Gossip Girl. We're talking about Christmas movies. I should also say I have a very sophisticated opinion on movies. I used to actually want to write scripts and work in movies, and I wanted to be a makeup artist in movies and that kind of thing. But I just never moved to BC into that. It's a whole thing, but I have a deep appreciation for film. Surprisingly, I don't necessarily know if that comes off, but I love movies, so I don't necessarily need every single film to wake me up and make me think super hard. But I feel The Holiday is, first of all, super interesting to look at different cultures and the way that different countries, I guess not necessarily cultures, but different countries celebrating Christmas, that kind of thing. And Cameron Diaz is amazing. Jude Law is amazing in it. I love the little old man in it. I don't know his name. I know it's Arthur in the movie. I don't know his real name. He's amazing. It's sometimes I find it really cool when people make movies about the movie industry as well. I find that interesting. Anyways, number 7 is The Holiday. I'm gonna stop chatting on about it. Number 6, this one I have an explanation for. So, in the 6th spot is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And I'm going to tell you why. On my dad's side of the family, this is Christmas culture, is this movie. You know how on TikTok there's all those jokes about white people have culture. This movie is my father's side of the family's culture. We watch it every Christmas as a family. Christmas Day, most of the time after we eat. And depending if I see him on Christmas Day, Boxing Day or whatever, whenever we have our family day with my dad after supper, 90% of the time we watch this movie. He quotes this movie, he just loves it. A couple years ago, every single one of my siblings got a copy of this movie on Blu-ray. Okay, it's a big deal. Even my dad's sisters, my aunts, we're all in on it. I bought my dad the little reindeer eggnog glasses one year. If you know, you know. It's a huge thing. He loves it, so now we all love it. So it's very sentimental to me, and it's funny. Yeah. So I don't think this would necessarily so much to me. But yeah, it's like a huge deal in my dad's side of the family. And sometimes my mom will just like watch it on TV. It'll just be on TV because she still has satellite. She'll just like watch it, and I'm like, this is so weird watching this movie with her and not my dad. But yes, it's very, it's a classic in the household, so it had to be up there on the list. So there's that. If you've never seen a National Lampoon's movie, you're missing out, and like, because the humor in it is just so dry, but it's so, dare I say it, you kind of have to like be a little sarcastic, like, you know, like it's that kind of stuff, but I really like it, and it's emotional. So anyways, that's number 6. Coming in the 5th spot is The Holiday. And I'm gonna tell you why Holiday is number 5. It's number 5 because you can technically watch it any time of year because it goes through a whole year. So if you're feeling like you need a little Christmas pick-me-up, you can watch The Holiday without anyone like saying anything to you. I watched this movie last November when it came out because it came out in November 2020, and I watched it 5 or 6 times in November and December of last year. I've watched it a few times already this year. It's just one of those movies that like I attached to. I was just like, I love this. There's been a few movies in my life that I've done this to. The first one ever was Spice World. I would watch it relentlessly. Then there was a specific Winnie the Pooh DVD, or I meant VHS DVD. There's a specific Winnie the Pooh VHS that I watched. I had to remember which color of box it was so I could find it. Like, I could barely read. I was like 5, but I was like figuring it out so I could watch the specific one. Then it was like The Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian. It's happened with LOL. It happened with the Titanic. And then The Holiday. Currently it's the happiest season, but we'll get to that one. There's just these movies. Oh, and The Family Stone, but we'll also get to that. There's just these movies that like I rewatch them. They're my anxiety movies, and this was one of them. First of all, Emma Roberts is so good in this. I relate to her character a lot, hands down. Like, it's just very relatable for me in my life, and the relationship is cute. I also feel like I would somehow accidentally get myself involved in a situation like this, so it's a really good rom-com. I just, for some reason, I loved it with my anxiety. Like, I just feel like I don't need to be like, it had this kind of nuance in it to explain myself. It's just number 5 on the list, even though it's only came out last Christmas. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. It's a really good rom-com. It's on Netflix, and I will say that sometimes Netflix chooses little posters that don't look appealing, but this one's good. So that's that. Number 4, we have How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This is the one with Jim Carrey in it. I watch this every Christmas as well. It came out, I think I was 4 or 5 when it came out. I think I might have been 4. I remember because my mom got it for me, my babysitter got it for me, and my dad got it for me, so I had 3 copies on VHS of How this Grinch Stole Christmas, and I've just always watched it every year. My twin sister and my one older sister, we would always watch it together. In the past few years we haven't, but usually that would be like our movie together. I don't know, I really like it. One year, my oldest sister and her friend captured me when I was small. I was like 5 or 6, captured me in this chair and did my hair like Cindy Lou Who, and it was horrible. My hair was like so thick with hairspray. My mom was like, what did you do? Because you know she's like the little cup thing and then all the braids. Yeah, anyways, I just like it because So number 4 is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Coming in at number 3 is Happiest Season. This also only came out last year in 2020. I love it. First of all, I think it's super helpful for the LGBTQ plus community. Like, amazing. We have a lesbian Christmas movie. Amazing. Kristen Stewart. She may or may not be my gay awakening. I don't know. She stunning. It's so good. Aubrey Plaza's also in it. Like, the cast is amazing. Like, I've also just, this is one of these movies I've watched like so many times. It's a really good message. Also, it's about love. I love love. I also, sadly enough, like, I really relate to Harper and her sisters, where like you're in like an upper class family sort of, and like you have to like compete for your love. Like, you don't just get love. Like, sadly enough, like, I do sort of relate to that. Like, you know, if you aren't the way that like a certain person wants you to be, like, they're not going to like love you. So that really resonated with me, sadly enough. But like, it's so good either way, and it's pretty funny, and Dan Levy's in it as well. It's just like heartwarming. Like, I get serotonin from this movie. So Happiest Season comes in at number 3. Number 2, my second favorite Christmas movie ever, is Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds. I've just watched this every year for years and years and years. I can't miss it. I can't not watch it. And the reason it's so high up on the list is because just without fail, I watch it. I love a good Ryan Reynolds movie. I love a good Ryan Reynolds rom-com. Let me restate that. Before he got into superheroes and like being a spy and like a bodyguard, like, no, I loved early 2000 Ryan Reynolds rom-coms. I don't even necessarily like, he's an attractive person, you know, like, anyways, I actually like Anna Faris the best in that movie. She's so funny. But yeah, it's just number 2 on the list because I do genuinely just love it so much, and I don't really have much more to say. I feel like all I keep being is like, it's so good, like, it's just so good. But basically, I love Anna Faris is so chaotic in it, and like, I love a good, like, I was scorned in high school, so now I'm gonna come back and be the baddest bee ever. Like, I love that kind of a storyline. So yeah. And number 1, my absolute favorite Christmas movie of all time, you can never change my mind ever, is The Family Stone. If you've never seen this movie, watch it. First of all, star-studded cast. Okay, it's called The Family Stone because their last name is Stone, and they want the engagement ring, the family engagement ring. I was like, they want the family stone, yeah, the engagement ring. So Diane Keaton, this is when I fell in love with this woman, is in this movie. I used to start watching it with one of my older sisters, so my like middle sister and my twin sister were pretty close, the 3 of us. We were like only 4 years apart, so we spent a lot of time together. Anyway, she like introduced me to this movie, and now like the 3 of us also really love it. I also had the hugest crush in the entire world on Dermot Mulroney. Don't ask me why. Diane Keaton, she's my Meryl Streep. Dermot Mulroney's my George Clooney. I don't know what to say. I also relate to the giant chaotic family. Super relatable. The whole thing. I just really like it hits me in the heart. I'm obsessed with this movie. Obsessed. It's my favorite movie of all time. Not just my favorite Christmas movie. Favorite movie of all time. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go over a couple more of the honorable mentions in case you're looking for something else to watch. also my favorite movies is Four Christmases with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn. It's super funny. They basically they want to go on vacation, but their flight gets canceled, so they have to go to their family Christmases. Oh, Little Women, like the 2019 one, stunning movie. Why Him with James Franco. It's sort of ridiculous, but it's good if you want to see it. Obviously, Love Actually. That one was a hard one. I wanted it to be number 10, but then I was like, but the Polar Express, you know. Okay. Also, okay, so we got the silly ones like The Night Before, Office Christmas Party, etc. Home Alone is really good. I used to watch that a lot when I was younger, but it just didn't make the top 10 as well. Jack Frost, I used to really love that one as well, but I think that has to do with my daddy issues. Happy Christmas with Anna Kendrick is pretty good. And then the last one on here is a Mickey Mouse Christmas. I used to watch it all the time. I had like this DVD. It was really cute. So that's like, those were like the top contenders. Let me know your favorite holiday movie, because I love Christmas movies, and I'm always looking for more to watch, specifically rom-coms. So let me know. Oh, I also watched An El Camino Christmas on Netflix recently. That's okay, but it's not overly Christmassy. It's just like occurring at Christmas. It's sort of like Die Hard, for being honest. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching.